Today's topic, one of the best cannabis stock which could be a really good value investment for long-term hold. So let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel once again. This is Abhishek bringing you once again a really good valuable investment with a good long-term hold, 5x potential in the coming 5 years. Yes, today we are going to talk about a cannabis stock which has a huge growth potential in the coming 5 years, and I really hope that you would fall in love with this stock after watching this video. But with that being said, falling in love with this stock is okay, but please do your own due diligence because I'm not a financial advisor, guys, and this is your hard-earned money, so you have to keep track of that, right? Anyways, and before we jump on to the main content, there is a tiny reminder and a small request to please hit and smash that like button because it really helps the channel to grow and it motivates me as well to bring out such content to you guys. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then what are you waiting for, guys? Come on, join the community and be a part of it. So now let's hop on to the detailed analysis of our amazing stock.
So today's stock is TrueLeaf Cannabis, guys, trading with the ticker symbol TCNNF, which is not just a growth stock, but is also presenting us with a really good value. Trading at the price $31.82 at the time of making the video with a market cap of $3.7 billion. And I know, guys, this is not one of the cheapest cannabis stocks out there. But trust me, guys, when you will see all the calculations and the benchmark further in this video, you will have second thoughts on the stock price. I'm also not saying that this is a really good entry point, but still this could be an entry point from where you can possibly average your price down. But we will do all the calculations and you will see that still at this price, this is quite a good value investment. But guys, that's just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, so you should do your own due diligence. But just to show you guys to consider this stock, I will still show you the benchmark and the calculations. Also, one more point worth noticing here is that this is an OTC stock, which also means that many investors either cannot trade this stock because of the unavailability of the OTC stocks on their particular brokers, or just many investors might not be simply aware of this. And this is another really great factor because this could simply mean that once it gets on the bigger stock exchanges, maybe we might see a huge spike because of the huge incoming volume when people are getting more aware of this particular stock. So TrueLeaf is the first and the leading medical cannabis company in the state of Florida, founded in 2015 with over approximately 4,000 employees operating in 6 states with a total of 72 stores and has been profitable since 2017. So the strategy is to hit the market with even more variety of products in the future and building up a good relationship with the local brands and entering into new partnerships. And like I just mentioned about the variety of products, well, in 2020, they already initiated that process by being the first to sell cannabis edibles in Florida. And the best part is that in 2021, they're expecting organic growth and expansion through merger and acquisitions and further application processes. So these are some of their retail sales metrics. The two most important points here are firstly the customer retention rate, which they mentioned in the Q3 earnings call and is about 79%, which is quite amazing, guys. This also acts as a reoccurring revenue for the company and also explains the quality of their product. And the same store experienced a 19% of increase in its sales. Now these are comparatively the new stores which were operating for more than a year, or let's say more than a fiscal year. Now apart from that, let's just have a quick look at their quarterly performance, which will give us some more confidence to look deeper into this business. So as you can see right here, in Q3 2020, their revenue was $136.3 million as compared to $120.8 million in Q2 2020, which is a growth of approximately $16 million, or let's say exactly $15.5 million. And also the adjusted EBITDA increased by $7 million in Q3 2020, and they have a 52% market share in the state of Florida, and this was enough to create such a massive growth. Just have a look at this, guys. From 2019 to 2020, the growth, and this is of course the approximate growth, the foreseeable growth, because the 2020 Q4 is not closed yet, but this is the estimated revenue. And the best part is that this guidance, this revenue estimation doesn't even include the revenue from Massachusetts, edibles in Florida, which they started in 2020, or Pennsylvania transactions. Well, and the company is doing quite good when it comes to increasing its financial strength through raising funds. For example, in October 2019, the company did a debt offering of $60 million, and they did the same in 2019 with $70 million, and then they did an equity offering in September 2020 worth $87 million. Now, of course, guys, they are one of the largest marijuana operator in the state of Florida, with the largest dispensary network in this state, with 57 dispensaries in Florida. But they are on the verge of expansion and growth, guys. So as you can see right here, their current reach would be to 6 states. So they are currently operating in 4 states: Florida, California, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and under construction is Massachusetts, and they have a pending approval for the expansion in West Virginia. So this explains the huge upcoming potential for this particular company in the United States of America. Now, the majority of their revenue is currently just from one state, guys, just one state, that is Florida. An expansion into 5 more states can literally take this company to the next level, especially when the legal cannabis industry is expected to grow by approximately 95%, guys, until 2024 from 2020, and out of which that Trulieve is right now just into medical cannabis. That means hitting the smaller portion of the whole cannabis market. So just imagine the potential of this company when it gets into recreational cannabis market, which actually will be worth $20 billion approximately by 2024. Okay guys, so now let's get on to a bit more interesting part, that is the financial analysis, comparison, and the benchmark evaluation with its competitors. And when I say competitors, I'm not taking just any small competitors for the comparison, but instead I'm talking about top competitors like Cronos and Curaleaf, where Curaleaf also being the largest cannabis producer in the states, because then this will show us a good fundamental analysis. So let's get started. Okay guys, so here is the big comparison. So the first column is for Curaleaf with the ticker symbol CURLF, the second column is for Trulieve with the ticker symbol TCNNF, and the third column is for Cronos with the ticker symbol CRON. So starting with the market cap, Curaleaf is at the market cap of $8.2 billion, Trulieve is at the market cap of $3.5 billion, and Cronos at $2.8 billion, which also shows us that Curaleaf is the biggest company amongst all. So coming first onto the income statement. So with an income statement, first let's check the revenue. So the revenue for Curaleaf is $471 million. This is for the trailing 12-month period. For TCNNF is $367 million, and for Cronos it's $36 million. And also based on the revenue, we can see that Curaleaf is bigger than Trulieve and Cronos is the smallest amongst them. Now moving on to the gross profit, and now from here things become quite interesting. So as we can see, the gross profit for Curaleaf is $310 million, for Trulieve is $355 million, and Cronos minus $31 million. So let's take Cronos out of the picture. The cost of revenue is $161 million, for Trulieve is just $11 million, and for Cronos it's $68 million, which gives us a gross profit margin of 66% for Curaleaf and 97% for Trulieve, and for Cronos of course minus because of the negative profit, so minus 84%. So what does this mean? This means, guys, that of course revenue plays a good role to evaluate the company, but what matters more is how much they are saving and making out of the revenue. And it clearly shows that Trulieve, despite being a smaller business, is generating more profit than Curaleaf, which is a bigger company. So moving on to operating expenses, for Curaleaf it's $274 million, for Trulieve it's $114 million, and for Cronos is $148 million. It's just funny to see Cronos even in this comparison, but anyway, so operating income for Curaleaf it's $35 million, for Trulieve $240 million. This is really amazing. And for Cronos, of course, in negative $179 million. And this gives us an operating margin. So for Curaleaf, the operating margin is at 7.5%. For Trulieve, 65%, and for Cronos, of course, in negative 485%. Now guys, I really can't stress this enough, that how important a good operating margin is. And if you are a regular viewer of my channel, then you already know that. It is important because a high operating margin is a really good indicator of a company being well managed and is a potentially less of a risk than a company with a lower operating margin, and how much money they are saving from the daily operations or from various other costs of production. And just to let you guys know that a really good operating margin could be somewhere between 20 to 25%, but as you can see in case of Trulieve it's 65%, which is just phenomenal. And this tells me as an investor that TrueLeaf is really well managed and won't be having any problems to remain a profitable business in near future or even in long term. Okay guys, so now let's move on to the balance sheet. So starting with Curaleaf, the current assets for Curaleaf are at $149 million. For TrueLeaf, it's $369 million. And from Kronos, wow, $1.5 billion. Okay, it's good to see that at least somewhere Kronos is doing quite good. Anyway, so moving on to current liabilities, Curaleaf is at $106 million, TrueLeaf $56 million, and Kronos $332 million, which gives me a current ratio for Curaleaf of around 1.4, for TrueLeaf 6.5, and for Kronos 4.7. So it doesn't matter how much current assets Kronos has, but still the ratio is 4.7, which is good, which is really good. Any ratio above 1 is good, and any ratio above 2 is just phenomenal. But still, beating a ratio of 4.7, TrueLeaf is at a current ratio of 6.5, which tells me again, guys, that TrueLeaf is not going anywhere in the near term. And this current ratio of 6.5, it's just phenomenal, guys. It's just amazing. So anyways, moving on to total assets. So total assets for Curaleaf are at $736 million, for TrueLeaf $590 million, and for Kronos $2 billion. And total liabilities for Curaleaf are at $333 million, for TrueLeaf $308 million, and for Kronos $341 million. Now guys, total assets and total liabilities are okay to see. This gives us a book value. So book value simply means total assets minus total liabilities, and higher the book value of course means that the more stable the company is. But total assets also have assets like goodwill, yeah, which is actually just some assets and they are non-tangible assets. So what I mean by this is that these assets cannot literally be liquidified. These are just goodwill. So for example, if a company is buying another big company and that particular company which is taking over this company are willing to pay some extra amount, and just because the company has a really good reputation, and that's why this is called goodwill. And these assets are really non-tangible assets. That means they cannot be liquidified, and this is why I really don't consider those assets as really physical assets or something I can rely on for my evaluation. So anyways, so that's why I'm taking net tangible assets as well into consideration. So net tangible assets for Curaleaf are at $153 million, for TrueLeaf $251 million, and for Kronos $1 billion, which tells me that yes, Kronos, at least in terms of asset composition, is at a really good financial stable position. But comparing TrueLeaf with the biggest cannabis producers in the States, that is Curaleaf, we can see that TrueLeaf is positioned better when it comes to financial stability. Okay guys, so now let's move on to the cash flow statement. And from the cash flow statement, I have taken just 3 important figures. So the first one is cash flow from operations, which is also known as cash flow from operating activities. And for Curaleaf, it's at minus $24 million. For TrueLeaf, $81 million, and for Kronos minus $157 million. So what does this mean? So as we can see, a positive number and a negative number. So operating cash flow, first of all, is the cash generated from normal operations of a business. And a negative operating cash flow means that the business has more outgoing than incoming money. So that means the business cannot cover the daily expenses from sales alone, and the company is not able to continue to pay its bills without borrowing money. Which brings us to the cash flow from financing activities. So this means borrowing money. So the cash flow generated by financing, yeah. And as we can see, for Curaleaf, it's $215 million. For TrueLeaf, it's $62 million. For Kronos, $30 million. So if the company is generating a cash flow from financing, that simply means that it is borrowing money from outside and they have to pay this sooner or later. So this is considered as debt, right? So that's why this number should not be high. So cash flow from financing activities should not be a high amount. So a higher number in this category, it's not a good thing. And therefore, as we can see, that Trulieve is the only company amongst the three which is generating a positive cash flow from its operating activities and is at the second place when it comes to cash flow generated through financing activities. Okay, so last but not the least, cash flow from investing activities. And as we can see, Curaleaf is generating a cash flow from its investing activities of minus $195 million, Trulieve minus $47 million, and Cronos $111 million. So yes, as we can see, Cronos is at a really good position when it comes to cash flow generated through its investing activities. But guys, a negative cash flow generated due to investing activities is not always bad, because companies can have a negative investment cash flow even if it is a profitable business, because they might be investing heavily on plant and equipment. That means they are expanding. And considering Trulief's cash flow from operations, which is quite positive, and also the cash flow from financing activities are not so high as compared to Curaleaf, I really don't consider this as a bad thing, because of course Trulief is a small business compared to Curaleaf, so they need to expand. And of course, as we also saw in the beginning of this video, that they are bringing up new products and still they are not in the recreational business, so they have to expand. And that's why I think cash flow from investing activities for Trulief is quite good, and it's not that high as you see as compared to Curaleaf, so I don't think this is a danger at all. And then coming on to some key ratios, so the first one is price to earnings ratio, and as we can see that for Curaleaf and Cronos it is 0, which is quite bad. For Trulieve it's 55, which is also high, but let me show you later, it's actually not that bad. So anyways, so price to sales ratio, Curaleaf 13.5, for Trulieve 8.4, and for Cronos 80.63, which also tells us that Trulieve actually is giving us a really cheap evaluation as compared to Curaleaf and Cronos. So that means, in other words, that this business, if we acquire this business right now, it is giving us a really cheap price. So in other words, undervalued. And price to book value for Curaleaf it's 5.7, for Trulieve 8.9, and for Cronos 1.6. So just to summarize this, guys, if we see the financial comparison between these companies, then with the most positive points and not even a single red flag, Trulieve portrays the strongest and the most valuable financial positioned company. Okay, so now to make this analysis even much better, let's have a look at some numbers. So first, let's have a look at the future projected earnings of Trulieve, and it is estimated to increase by 400% until 2025. And with this, let's jump on to our numbers game. Okay, so to start with, let's first start with the market cap of Trulieve, which is at $3.5 billion, which we saw earlier in this video as well. And then what we just saw, the projected 2025 earnings, which is supposed to increase by 400%. So 400% of the current earnings of Trulieve gives us an approximate earnings of $700 million. Now guys, I'm not saying at all that this will surely happen in the next 5 years, but I'm just using an approximate number which is already out there and is estimated by the analysts. So the price to earnings ratio is just market cap divided by the 2025 future earnings, and we are calculating this just simply to see that at what price to earnings ratio we would be buying this company right now, considering those future earnings. So the company represents now us with a price to earnings ratio of just 4.9, guys, which is damn cheap and really undervalued. But that's not it, guys. So moving on further, if we take these 2025 projected earnings and then multiply it with a decent price to earnings ratio, which could be somewhere between 20 and 30, so for the sake of simplicity I just took 25, then we get the future market cap of approximate $17 billion, guys, which is a raise of 385% from the current market cap. So you can just imagine, guys, that how much potential this company still has and how much money you can make from this company. But again, guys, this is just my analysis. As you can see, these are my predictions. This is my personal opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not suggesting in any ways that you should be buying this or not. So this is just my opinion, guys, and this analysis and valuation is just to bring this stock up to your notice. And by the way, guys, it's not just me who thinks that the stock offers us with a great value, but also the analysts out there predicted the stock to reach up to $150 until 2025. And with Trulieve entering into recreational or adult use industry, then I'm sure the price target of $150 within 5 years might not be sufficient. And with this, guys, I rest my case.
So if you guys made till here, then I'm glad that you guys watched the whole video. And apart from that, I have a small announcement to make that we are growing steadily and slowly this Patreon family of our brothers and sisters. So we discuss everyday penny stocks which we could do intraday trading for, and we talk about real estate as well in Germany. So I will put the link in the description down below. So you're most welcome to have a look at it, and of course you are more than welcome to join that community. So with this, I'll wrap up today's video. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and ciao.